These are the 12 reasons that I prefer an online consulting business over a brick and mortar. I've been an entrepreneur now for 9 years. All praises, all glory due to the Most High for that. For 9 years, next month, I have been in business. I want you to know that 8 out of 10, 80% of Black businesses started since 2020 have failed. And it's such an honor to be in the small 20% of people who have been able to sustain their business year over year after year. And these 12 reasons are going to tell you why I've been in business, how I've been able to sustain my business, and why I advise you to also go the online consulting route. Number one, you have low startup capital for an online business. If you're opening a brick and mortar, obviously you have to throw money at the wall, okay? You gotta throw money at that building. Maybe you don't even have proof of concept yet, okay? Do you know what proof of concept is? In product marketing and business development, that's where you actually proof the product that you want to bring to market. If you're gonna open a business and you do not have proof of product or proof of concept, there's a huge risk, okay? There's a huge risk that you're gonna open the doors and there's gonna be no clients and customers. This is why market research is so important. And again, market research, I've said this before on this channel, market research is not you going door to door doing a survey. That's the old way, the 1950s way. We're in 2025. True market research is something in corporate marketing and social media marketing, communications that we call social listening. This is where you get on social media, go to where the industry players are and just listen or read, understand what the market is asking for, understand the gaps in the market, then work with a mentor to actually bring a product to market that agrees with the actual demand that is there. Because a business idea that could be a great idea, could be fantastic, but if there's no demand, there's no business, okay? So that's number one, low startup capital. You only need, with an online consulting business, about $3,000 to start. That's it. You wanna pay for a website, you may wanna get a mentor, you may wanna get your LLC, you may want to pay for some marketing, you may wanna run some ads, but at the most, you're gonna usually pay about $3,000 or less startup capital for your business, okay? Your website domain, you're a coach or consultant, maybe you want to run some ads. I remember when I was in the first year of running my business, I played with ads, spent a couple hundred on that, a couple hundred on a mentor, some business books. And that's really all you need when you're starting out. And then understand that as the years go by, you're always going to be investing in your business year after year, okay? Now, number two is low risk. This goes right in line with low startup capital. Online consulting businesses are so low risk because in those first 5 years of business, you can adjust and pivot and start to understand what the market needs until you have proof of concept. Then you can begin to trademark things and actually create curriculum and standardization and bring people into your business, okay? So online consulting businesses, they are obviously low risk. This can be education consulting. I've had clients that started out as hair care companies, but actually brought in a service-based consulting model into their business to diversify their revenue streams. This can be finance consulting. This can be accounting. This can be tax strategy, logistics, government contract consulting. We have clients like that, logistics consulting. Like literally any and every industry can have a consulting and education piece to it. And I do advise every entrepreneur to do that because it's like, why not? We're in the age of the internet. We are in the age where people want education in a different format. And those who actually embark on this journey and basically capitalize off of that, like you can win big no matter where you are in the world. Number three, easy barrier to entry. Like there's a low barrier to entry with an online business. Now, if you were to start some type of real estate firm, you have to go through law school and all those things. But at the end of the day, if you start your online law firm, again, easy barrier to entry. Website, you may run a few Facebook ads, you may start a podcast, buy a microphone, buy an iPhone that's brand new, buy, whatever that startup equipment is, but there's an easier barrier to entry. There's not like a lot of hoops and things you have to run through. You don't have to go to school for a PhD for 12 years, okay? Turn the camera on and start talking about your area of expertise. Then you can get a mentor and help you get your sales engineering together and things like that, okay? But The barrier to entry is just so easy. It's like one of those things like, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't I do it? Why wouldn't I start an online business? It's one of those things like, it just makes sense. Or else you're gonna look back 10 years from now and say, these people blew up doing the online consulting. Why didn't I do it? Because everybody has an area of expertise, whether it's art, finance, tax relief, real estate. You may be a real estate investor. I know one of our clients was a real estate investor for mobile homes. We wrote their sales page, their email sequence, their ads. A real estate investor for mobile homes. I'm just saying, very niche, very nuanced, very specific. And you can do stuff like that when you go the online consulting route, as well as a real estate firm in Chicago. I actually forgot about this client in 2020. They were a real estate licensing agency in Chicago, Illinois, okay? But they had continuing education courses, AKA consulting. They didn't just sell home, buy homes, invest in homes. They had continuing education for realtors, okay? This was back in 2020, just FYI. Now, number 4, build a personal brand because it's the age of the internet. This is why I love online businesses. You get to build a personal brand, and a personal brand is what you see here. I'm the face of Tiffy G Writes. I'm the co-founder of Journey With Us and Black Educators Amplified. Our faces are here, showing you who we are, telling you what we do, telling how this can be advantageous to you, and it makes it so much easier. One of my best and favorite clients owns a finance firm in the DC metro area, but she's the face of her brand. She has a sales development team of about 7 people, I think 5 CPAs now, used to be 4 CPAs, 5 CPAs, but they are not the face of the brand. Her name is the face of the brand. She is the face of her brand, okay? Personal branding is so important in this age because we're in the age of the internet. People don't want to see emails from, Walmart, Target, so-and-so corporation. They want to know who you are as the CEO, okay? And that can be an advantage for you because then you become the niche. You become your market. You become that minimum viable market that people are looking for. Number 5, with an online consulting business, you get to live a nomadic life. I know you see where I am. I am in the most beautiful island that exists on the face of the planet, hands down. I'm in Mauritius. Look out here, look. You see how beautiful that is? It's beautiful like that every single day. Beaches, mountain views, underground waterfalls, boat rides with our children. Why? Because I don't own a brick and mortar. Why would I own a brick and mortar? Why would I do that? That would waste my time 100,000%. And I knew that back in 2016, okay, when we started, because my son was born in 2018 and I was a stay-at-home mom. My husband was working and I'm a stay-at-home mom. And so I didn't have time to go to networking events, to hoop and holler on this stage, to go meet this person up and down the street. But what I did have was an excellent grasp on writing. And so what did I do? I started to study copywriting, marketing, business development from the comfort of my couch in Columbus, Ohio. And when I say study, I can't tell you how many marketing books I've read. They're right there on my shelf. Has to be over 25. I can't tell you how many courses I've invested in, and every single program and course that I've invested in has been worth the money because I'm the type of person, I know how to make smart decisions. It's very rare that I waste my money on an investment because I know how to invest. Even back then, I knew how to invest because I'm the type of buyer when I'm looking for a program or a course or I want to learn a skill, I learn it. I study to the fullest extent. I take learnings from every situation I'm in life. And if you're that kind of person, you're going to be successful as an entrepreneur, or you may already be successful. Congratulations, okay? Now, number 6, prevent unnecessary stress. Y'all may not know this, but your girl is an introvert, okay? I am an introvert at heart. I am most comfortable here in my home with my children and my husband. I like to stay home. I don't want to be out and about. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be there. To be quite honest, we didn't even know this YouTube channel would blow up like that. I like my ideal life is me writing from a mountainside cabin, and that's it. That's it. I don't want to be everywhere. I don't want to be at the networking events. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do all that. Okay. That's just I'm just not going to do it. And so creating an online consulting business, I got to skip all of that foolishness that causes unnecessary stress. I'm the type of person that is super results oriented. I'm straight to the chase. Like, let's get the results. Let's get to what we need to talk about. Let's do it, and let's do it exponentially well. Like, let's be really good at what we do, but let's get straight to it. That's why my clients love me. You know, businesses love working with consultants that can come in and care more about the results, or equally as much about the results as the CEO themselves does. That's just my personality type. As an introvert, I'm like, let's get to it. In any space I'm in. When I was in nursing, same thing. I was there for my patients, not there to chat with the coworkers. That's cool, y'all cool, that's nice. But I was always in every area that I was in, whether it was school, if it was the bedside in nursing and neuroscience and being able to float, if it was winning medical terminology, if it's entrepreneurship. I care about the end result. I care about the person that I'm in the business for. I don't care about the vanity. I don't care about the hoopla and all that. I just want to write and bring results to those who I need to bring results to. I want to make people's lives easier. I want to close the wealth gap with African businesses. I want to provide some type of high level service to those who historically wouldn't even be able to get the type of information that I have, since I've worked in corporate marketing in corporate America, okay? So I get to prevent unnecessary stress that may align with you. Number 7, I get to create intellectual property. You get to make your brain the intellectual property that it is. You get to put a market cap on your experience, okay? Because when people work with us and when they work with me, they're not just paying for, hey, email marketing, hey, blog writing. They're paying for the 227 different business strategies that I've worked on. They're paying for the life experience of, hey, this person has worked internationally, done speaking events in Israel on content writing and content strategy. And so I'm paying for all of that experience, right? So that's something that I love about online consulting, and you're probably going to love it too. Number 8, more freedom and flexibility with friends and family. I told you when I first started this business, I was a mom of 3. I'm now a mom of 5, and one child is just turned 1, okay? And so as a mom, I also breastfeed. I've been breastfeeding for 5 years straight. And so I was not willing to build a business that I would have to sacrifice my children or my husband for. I just was unwilling to do that. I don't view life that way. I'm not a fan of living life that way. And if that's your thing, click off, because I'm not your girl, okay? I was not willing to sacrifice my family life. And so instead, I believe in having a business that works around my family. A business that works around my family, meaning I'm willing to put in 20 hours a week at most. I don't do 40-hour work weeks. I don't do 60-hour work weeks. I used to do 90-hour work weeks when I was in healthcare, hitting those 12-hour shifts and getting overtime. Hello. But when I started my business, and there's like this myth out there, and it's a complete myth. I don't know who's working in their business 50 hours a week. And if you are, you're probably just doing busy work and not revenue generating work. Those are two different things. You know, you can tweak stuff on Canva for 30 hours. You can tweak every little thing on your website and sign up to this networking event. Those aren't necessarily revenue generating activities. A revenue generating activity, on the other hand, is having sales conversations with people who are qualified prospects, not just anybody. Not going around to pop-up shops because it looks cute, not flying out to this place, but having conversations with qualified clients, ideal clients that you have already mapped, right? And this is why we have Black Educators Amplified, to teach upcoming online consultants exactly how to do that, because we've been able to build a multi-6-figure firm from the comfort of whatever villa we're in as digital nomads. Right now we're in Mauritius, okay, in our 5-bedroom villa, but we've been able to do that because we don't focus on busy work. I'd rather do deep work, and you should check out that book by Cal Newton. Totally changed my entire life and my children's lives. Cal Newton, Deep Work, best book ever. I'd rather focus on deep work, one specific client to bring one specific result, and not move on until I'm finished with that client's work, showing up in my fullest capacity and being fully present for my clients, 20 hours a week or less. That way I can be fully present for my husband, fully present for my children, because I'm not working 90, 50 hours a week. I don't know where this myth came from. The entrepreneurs are working 50 hours a week. And if you are, you need to change something, because that's not healthy. That doesn't make sense. Number 9, teach others your methods. I love this. I didn't know that I would love being a teacher this much, although I should have known, because I've been a homeschool mother for about 9 years, 10 years as well. I've been homeschooling for about the same time I've been in business. And so homeschooling is lit. Teaching is lit. As a child, I always wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be in nursing, and I did that. I went into nursing at 16 years old. I worked in nursing. I worked at Nationwide Children's Hospital, worked in nursing homes, worked in mental institutions. I absolutely loved healthcare until I realized, you know what, I'm not meant to do this forever because it's extremely stressful. Those of you who are in healthcare, y'all know how it is. It's rewarding and stressful at the same time. It really takes a toll on you, especially in the modern ages. But I get to teach others how to become successful. I get to help other people get out of poverty. I get to help other people close the wealth gap and come into who they're really called to be. That to me is the most rewarding thing. That's why every time I show up for a client call, I'm so excited and I'm so happy because I remember being that person and being so thankful that mentors were even willing to share how they got there. Because honestly, a lot of people at the top, they're just not even willing to reach back out. They're not willing to do mentorship. They're not willing to tell you how they got there. They're not patient enough to walk through a 12-week program, a 16-week program with you, an 8-week program even. A lot of times people just kind of, I remember like reaching out to a freelance writer. I don't even remember what state this person was in, asking for advice, looking at their website and realizing, they didn't even have any programs for me. So their website was mostly tailored to their clients, and I get that, corporate clients, but they didn't have any mentorship programs available. They didn't have anything, and I had money. Like I can pay $1,000, $1,500, whatever it is to get the mentorship. But this person, they didn't even have that available. And I understand, being super busy. So when I found people who did have that available, I was so thankful, because without mentorship, without a consulting strategist, without an advisor, you will be left in the dark. I got here to where I am today because people were willing to share their knowledge with me, and I was willing to invest in their programs, and it shot me off to a different level, like literally like international within just a few years level. Crazy. And actually my first international client was down in the Bahamas, and I had one in Canada as well, who I still work with today. And I'm actually doing a speaking engagement with her in the next few weeks. And so stay subscribed to this channel if you want to see that. It's called the Introvertpreneur Summit. It's going to be awesome because all the introverts are getting together, and it's just great when introverts get together because we understand each other. Okay. Now the next point, number 10, build a strong foundation for other investments. Online consulting is the avenue where you can start to build out real estate development. We've used the proceeds from our online business to develop a cabin in Tanzania. We've also used the business proceeds to invest in stocks, crypto, XRP, gold, right? So your online business revenue is really the foundation for everything that you do. Like, you're going to be able to invest in other things with your online business revenue when you get to that point, okay? Number 11, working B2B, business to business, behind the scenes is big revenue. I'm the type of girl as an introvert, I like big behind the scenes revenue. I told you I'm an introvert. I don't have to be in all the places. I don't want all the notoriety. I do not want to know the people. I honestly don't. I want to know the 5 top CEOs that I need to know in finance and real estate and have long-term relationships with them. That's it. If I know the right person, the right marketing director, the right CEO, as a freelance writer, as a marketing strategist, then that's all I need, because we can work together here to here quietly. That's it. We ain't got to tell nobody what we doing. As long as I'm making you your coins. That's why ghostwriters are so important. Like, successful entrepreneurs in finance, real estate, authority-driven niches, keynotes, authors, they're going to want a ghostwriter to actually come in and be that right-hand man or woman to write their content for them, because these people are busy. These entrepreneurs, they don't have all the time in the world. That's where you can come in as a consultant, as a freelance writer. Either way you take it, you have it from 2 spheres. You can do it as a consultant, and you can consult in HR, you can consult in finance, you can consult in tax, you can consult in online business management and organization, Asana, Trello, ClickUp, things like that, and niche down according to the technology that you use. Or you can become a freelance writing consultant where you come in and help people tell better stories, write better stories, become more engaging, and build up their personal brand, especially if you're someone that has notoriously in school and college, wherever you are, you've always been told, hey, you're an excellent writer. Maybe you've written some books, but your books didn't really go anywhere because, ma'am, sir, you didn't know that before you publish a product, you need an audience. It's okay, sis. I'm going to help you out. I'm here for you, okay? Number 12, okay? Create school-like processes and shift education in a realm that's fundamentally broken. This is so huge. This isn't the idea that I came out with in 2016, 2017 when I was starting, but in 2025, looking at education, I'm so glad we homeschool our children. Thank the Most High for that. Looking at the American education system, it is so broken. It's so sad. And it's like, as parents, you really have to just take your child's education into your own hands. Don't say you're too busy. You're never too busy to educate your children. Like, that's like that should be your main goal in your entire life, to be quite honest. But the education system is so broken. Children do not know how to read. There are adults who do not know how to read. We have adults in the age of the internet that do not know how to do critical thinking. We have adults that cannot figure things out when we have Google. So imagine these children that already can't read. They don't have a lot of critical thinking. Nobody's teaching them microbiology. Nobody's teaching them anatomy. So they're going to grow up in this world and be lost, and they're going to lose jobs to AI. This is an existential crisis. So I am honored to be able to develop curriculum like I did for Teach for America, like I did for Clever Education Technology, two huge brands that I have enjoyed working with. But it's such a blessing to be able to be a part of that as a content strategist and a writer, because education is broken. College is broken. Unless you're going to law school, you're a nurse or a doctor, you kind of need to pick the right trade, and you need to pick the trade according to your personality, what you're already naturally good at. The education system as it stands is fundamentally broken, and that's why we have people all over America that went to get their bachelor's and master's and are working $30 an hour jobs. They have $60,000, $80,000, $100K in student debt, in loans that they have to pay. They're willing to work 40 and 60 hours for corporate America, but when you talk about their business, then it's like, can't do that. Y'all, that's a whole different topic. I will be here with you all day if I continue speaking on that topic, and I do not plan to do that for this session. So this has been the 12 reasons I prefer online businesses over brick and mortar, and will continue to keep that trajectory for the duration of my international consulting days. Now, if you like this content and you're like, sis, how can I work with you? I need to work with you like yesterday, or you want to see my work on my website, www.tiffygwrites.co. You can watch the Black Educators Amplified playlist. Check out the links in the description to see which option is right for you. We also have a free marketing course, okay? It's going to teach you 21 different high caliber funnels if you are an online consultant. Check it out at the link in the description. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and let me know, what was your biggest takeaway from this video? Shalom, shalom. See you in the next video.